December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
On the USS California was Central Texan J.C. Alston, 95 years old today, but his memory of Pearl Harbor and World War II is crisp.
I joined the Navy in August 1941, and I went through training in San Diego, and I went aboard USS California in October.
A few short months later, he was on watch duty from 4 to 8 a.m. when the Japanese struck.
I was getting relieved for breakfast. I had to eat breakfast. And when it started, we was told to go to our battle station. We didn't know more to get to our battle station until they said abandoned ship because it was sinking.
The USS California was sunk in the attack, but J.C. survived.
Were you scared to die? Did you think about that?
No, I didn't think about that. I was thinking about all the people that get killed if we didn't win.
He was ordered to assist the Army and Marines invade islands in the Pacific as they pushed toward Japan. It was some of the bloodiest fighting in the war.
We shelled the islands. We were up close. Captain, he believed getting up close. We would shoot at suicide bombers as they come in. We shot down several.
There were several close calls as well.
Bomb went out on the third deck, but it was a dud. We was lucky again. I don't see why they didn't surrender a long time ago. It sure would save them a lot of lives. But they was happy to die for the Emperor. That was the main thing for them.
He got word that the atomic bombs would be dropped. Soon, a sign of peace that J.C. Alston saw with his own eyes.
There'll be a green plane with a white cross on it. Do not shoot. They want everybody to know. They didn't want somebody trigger happy to shoot it down because it was coming over there to make the surrender for the Japanese. I saw them they put up the first flag.
Not long after, J.C. would be discharged and headed back home to Texas, where his family life began. A marriage of almost 60 years, full of children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Every time I'm with Granddad, I always think, you know, the experiences that he's been through, and I'm always very thankful that he's a part of our lives and that he's able to share with other people that we don't ever forget.
Granddaughter Stacy Short was with him when he returned to Pearl Harbor for the first time on the 49th anniversary of the attack, and then again at the 50th reunion of survivors.
You immediately feel a sense of almost sadness and heaviness, but pride at the same time that these men were willing to do whatever it took to defend their country.
On this Veterans Day, J.C. is honored by Troy Middle School students, and he tells the story one more time to children old enough to understand. He's often in parades or honoring the veterans who are no longer here to share their stories.
The people stop and stand and just are so respectful of who he is and what he is, where he's been in his life, and they clap, and you know, it's just that right there. It wells up tears in your eyes to think about the people don't even know him, but yet they love him.
A true patriot and patriarch of his family.
When you see the flag, what does it mean to you personally?
It means everything. It means that's what I fought for, and it's still here.
That's what I said.
There are 11 of us, and we are from all over the United States. We are here building this home. We drive our RVs here, we park our RVs, and then we drive in every day and give 7 hours a day to this project.
There you go. Well, thing of beauty. Yeah.
We're Christians, and Jesus' command was to love, and we feel like helping those who are poor or in poverty levels. They need our help, and and it's one way that we can contribute.
But it's just basic bones of the house. We go in and we write scriptures and we bless the family that's going into this house. It's just so different than anything we do. I mean, it stretches every muscle in our bodies every day. And I'm 75, my husband's 71. We still, you know, can push ourselves to do something like that. It makes us feel very, very good.
Meteorologist Jeff Forgeron is out and about in Waco, soaking in the very last of the sun. Jeff, how's it feeling out there right now?
You know, Lindsay, I said this to Ann during the 5 o'clock newscast. It's a spectacular evening across Central Texas. Matt mentioned that a weak cold front came through earlier. That brought some of our areas down into the low 60s this afternoon. Some areas made it into the 70s. Our weather was beautiful this afternoon, and right now it's not too bad. I added a light sweater between our 5 o'clock newscast and our 6 o'clock newscast. If you have any plans to maybe jog tonight or ride the bike or something, it's going to be chilly, but it's not going to be too bad. Now, we're standing next to the Brazos River. We just watched a gorgeous sunset, and I do think for the most part of the next few hours, our skies are going to stay mostly clear. But as we head into about midnight and the morning hours, that's when we're going to watch for the potential of some fog. Now, let's take a closer look at your forecast. Around midnight, I think that the potential for patchy fog will exist across Central Texas. Some areas may see their visibilities drop below 2 miles. But then as we fast forward to about sunrise, that's when I think visibilities could drop below 1/4 of a mile. So if you know you're going to be leaving early tomorrow morning, I would just keep in mind that there will be the potential for lower visibilities. You may want to give yourselves a few extra minutes. But besides that, I think by mid-morning, the wind is going to start to pick up. That will mix out the air. I think most of the fog will be out of here. And by the late morning into the afternoon, our weather is going to turn nice once again. But it's going to be short-lived. We've got that strong cold front coming our way. Matt's going to detail how cold it's going to get this weekend. For now, reporting live in Waco, Jeff Forgeron, Central Texas News Now.
If the eyes are the window to the soul, these peer into the world of Jacob Smith, a bold, bright, and sometimes bizarre place.
I like the juxtaposition of having like dark and creepy themes mixed with like pop color and like pop culture.
The Sam Houston State graphic design major grew up in Tig, Texas. Small town life gave him roots so his imagination could grow.
He got the chance to be himself and grow from the ground up.
His parents, Cedric and Billy Smith, were both athletes in high school, but they knew Jacob's interests would run in a different direction.
I go in his room one day, and he's got just the beginning of a charcoal drawing of Al Pacino. And I seen that, and I'm like, dude, are you serious? He's like, who is that? I'm like, Pacino, right here. And he's like, oh, I just seen that on Google and thought it'd be cool to draw.
Pacino was just the beginning. His prolific color pencils draw the world as he sees it. Watercolors paint an image you can't get out of your mind.
To me, it's just like a collage of like all that's going on in my head, if that makes any sense at all. But usually when people ask me like what my art means, it's just stuff that literally just comes to me and I just feel like I need to put it on paper.
Drawing is like breathing. And the kid who loved to climb trees is now climbing mountains of possibility.
You're 19 years old,
Yeah.
and I look at your work, and it's incredible. It's
Thank you.
very deep. It's beautiful.
Ever since like I started drawing, I felt like my mind was being opened up more. It kind of just tested my limit and just made me see what I could do.
There's no 10-year plan or big dream, just a passion to create more and reflect a world that isn't just black and white. He's heavily influenced by music and is intentional with every stroke.
The art is such an open-minded and free way of expressing yourself, so I feel like everyone can relate to that in a sense.
Tell me just how proud you are of Jacob.
Well, that's hard to put into words.
Just proud.
Yeah.
Just proud of him.
As parents, to see our kids thrive at something at the level that he's at is really amazing.
They'll be behind him throughout the journey as he paves his own way with faith and confidence that anything is possible. And Jacob says he's patient about the process.
For me, I'm like a shy and quiet person, so like art really helps me speak out, I guess you could say.
You find your voice.
Yeah, for sure.